Every single behavior Paul named as a symptom of spiritual decay, destructive quarreling, professional arguing, moronic conversations, the craving for conflict is currently a thriving monetized content category. What Paul flagged as evidence someone was drifting from God, the algorithm identified as high retention content and scaled it into a genre. And it markets that genre back to us as the responsible, watchful, discerning thing a serious Christian does. The Bible and the algorithm are not telling us compatible stories about what faithfulness looks like. And I think a lot of us have been discipled by the one with better production value. Have you ever opened up YouTube looking for some encouragement and closed it like you owed somebody something? Not inspired, not even convicted in a good way, where something actually shifts in you, just heavier, like a task got assigned to you in the last 20 minutes and nobody asked you if you wanted it. I've actually watched somebody I love close out a prophecy video, go quiet for the rest of the night, and start making decisions the next morning that had nothing to do with prayer and everything to do with fear. I have had people in my life tell me with a straight face that they think this might be the week something happens, not because God told them, but because a video told them. And somewhere along the way, those two things stopped feeling different. 20 minutes before that video, none of them felt responsible for anything. 20 minutes after, they did. Where does that feeling actually come from? Because there are two very different things that can put that exact sensation in your chest. One is the Holy Spirit moving you. The other is a piece of software that has been built, tested, and refined specifically to produce that sensation on command. And I don't think that most of us have learned how to tell them apart. Not because we're not spiritual enough. It's that nobody ever handed us the tool to tell the difference. And something else got very, very good at living in that gap. You already know the feed. I'm not going to pretend I'm showing you something you haven't seen 100 times. Prophecy updates, warnings timed to this specific month, witchcraft hiding in your playlist, your yoga class, your skincare routine, revelation timelines with arrows drawn on actual calendar dates. God showed me something and you need to hear this before it's too late. Ministries exposed, teachers named and dragged through a comment section, spiritual warfares you didn't even know you were personally enlisted in until 45 seconds ago. Here is the part I really want you to sit with though. It genuinely doesn't matter if any single one of those videos is true. The mechanism producing the feeling in you is identical, whether the content is accurate or completely made up. It's urgency, access to something hidden, a danger with your name on it, total certainty delivered with a straight face. Those four things fire the same circuitry every time, regardless of whether what's underneath them is real. And a platform figured that out a long time ago. Not a person, a system. It doesn't know or even care whether the prophecy is accurate. It just knows that content built on those four levers keep you on the app a few minutes longer than content that doesn't. And those few minutes are basically the whole business model. So here's the question I keep coming back to when I watch it happen to someone else. Are they sure that that is the spirit? Or are they sure just because the feeling is strong? And nobody ever taught them that strong and true aren't the same thing. We've been calling that discernment. I've started wondering how much of it is just a very good product doing exactly what it was built to do to people. Now, I want to be clear because people hear this and think I'm telling them to go numb. Paul told the Ephesian elders that savage wolves were coming in among them, and he wasn't gentle about it. He actually cried saying it. Jesus told his followers plainly to watch for false prophets. Deception is not some paranoid category invented by anxious people. So I'm not asking whether the content is true. I'm asking what it's doing to us regardless of whether it's true. Because here's the trap. You can consume nothing but accurate information and still come out the other side shaped into something that looks nothing like Christ. Truth delivered through a manipulation engine still passes through the manipulation engine on the way to you. The information can be correct and the formation can still go sideways. So let me try to name what's actually happening, because I don't think most of us have said it plainly. That urgent, responsible, get up and do something feeling you get after an hour in the feed, that's not a new feeling. It's ancient. It has a name, and I don't think that name is discernment. It's the law. Not law as in rules, law as in the whole operating system that says your standing with God is a transaction based on your output, that your faithfulness gets measured by your activity, that if you saw the sign and didn't act, that's on you, that the more you produce for God, the safer your soul is. Now, look at what that actually produces in real people over time. Street ministries built on urgency instead of love. Preachers aimed at warning strangers because actually knowing your literal neighbor takes longer and doesn't post as well. Judgment movements, watchmen platforms, a guy on a street corner with a sign more certain about the end of the world than curious about the person walking past him. Whole postures of spiritual vigilance that needs an enemy to keep functioning and that produces almost none of what the fruit of the Spirit is actually supposed to look like. And I keep asking myself the same question. Is that the Spirit? Or is that a person managing a debt they feel like they owe God, dressed up as ministry? Because there is a real version of watching the walls. That gift genuinely exists. But there's another version, quieter to name, louder in practice, where people are doing public service to dodge a life sentence they secretly still believe is on the table despite the cross. And the algorithm does not produce the first version. It can't. There's no incentive to. It produces the second version at scale every single day because that version is what keeps a thumb on the screen. Here's a question worth asking. Whether it's you or somebody you love, if you look back at every video forwarded this month and almost every single one of them was warning about something, what does that actually say about the God being served? Is he really sending a message every single week? Or has the feed quietly started standing in for a pastor, for elders, for somebody's own 2 ears? Here's where things get interesting, because the Bible didn't miss this. It named this exact behavior with real precision 2,000 years before an algorithm ever existed to weaponize it. Romans 1:29, Paul is cataloging what happens to people as they walk away from God. And right in the middle of that list is a word that shows up in the original language as something much sharper than our English translations let on. It doesn't just mean disagreement. It doesn't mean healthy debate. It means destructive wrangling, quarreling that exists purely to tear down, with nothing constructive on the other side of it. Paul put it right next to gossip and slander. In 1 Corinthians 1:20, Paul asked, "Where is the debater of this age?" And in the original language, that word for debater is specifically the term for a professional arguer, someone skilled at winning an argument for the sake of winning it. His tone isn't admiring. He's asking, what does all that winning actually produce? And the implied answer is nothing. 2 Timothy 2:23. Paul tells Timothy to have nothing to do with what the original language literally labels as moronic conversations. Not unwise, not unhelpful, moronic. And that's actually the root of our English word for moron. And his reason is simple. Avoid them because you already know exactly what they produce. Quarrels, more quarrels, content about the quarrels, generating more quarrels. 1 Timothy 6:4, Paul describes someone with what the original language calls an unhealthy craving for controversy and quarrels about words. Cravings like an appetite that outgrew its purpose and turns compulsive. And he says exactly what it manufactures: envy, dissension, slander, evil suspicions. Read your own comment section and tell me Paul was off. Titus 3:9 closes it out. Avoid foolish controversies because they are unprofitable and worthless. Not handled with care, not engaged thoughtfully, worthless. Here's what actually gets me about all of this. Every single behavior Paul named as a symptom of spiritual decay, destructive quarreling, professional arguing, moronic conversations, the craving for conflict is currently a thriving monetized content category. What Paul flagged as evidence someone was drifting from God, the algorithm identified as high retention content and scaled it into a genre. And it markets that genre back to us as the responsible, watchful, discerning thing a serious Christian does. The Bible and the algorithm are not telling us compatible stories about what faithfulness looks like. And I think a lot of us have been discipled by the one with better production value. So if it's counterfeit, what is the real thing? 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, test everything. Hold fast to what is good. And the word translated test there in the original language is an assayer's word. It's what you do to a metal to find out if it's genuine. Here is the part that gets left out every time this verse gets quoted. The point of the assay was never to expose the fake. It's to certify the real so you can keep it. Nobody takes a gold chain to be tested hoping it comes back worthless. You test it because you want it to be gold. Look at what surrounds the command in that actual passage. Don't quench the spirit. Don't despise prophecy. Test everything. Hold fast to the good. The test exists in service of holding on to something. So maybe the question isn't what you've learned to be suspicious of. Maybe it was what you're actually holding on to after all of it. Hebrews 5:14. Real discernment belongs to those whose senses have been trained. And the original language actually uses a gymnasium word there. Trained through reps over time like a muscle, which means you can't binge your way into it. You can't watch somebody else do the reps every day for a year and gain the strength yourself because it's slow, unglamorous, built in the text and in real community with people who are allowed to correct you to your face. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober. The word in the original language literally means clear-headed, not intoxicated. Because yes, there's a real predator out there, but the command isn't to panic, it's to get clear. A drunk man doesn't make a good watchman. He's just loud and he'll swear he saw something when it was just a raccoon the whole time. Here's where I want to land this. You were saved by grace, not by how many warnings you forwarded, not by your record in theological debates, not by your vigilance or your watch list or how many false teachers you caught before your friends did. Grace. And somewhere underneath the prophecy updates, the timelines, and the comment section, I think that got buried. Not on purpose, just because grace doesn't produce urgency. It produces rest, and rest doesn't keep somebody scrolling. So the algorithm skips it every time because rest doesn't monetize the way panic does. There is no engagement metrics for peace. Nobody optimizes a thumbnail around be still and know. The content that would actually help slow down and go back to the text, sit under your actual pastor, stay in your actual church doesn't perform. So it doesn't get made and the feed just keeps filling up with things that does. And here's what I keep coming back to. The Holy Spirit doesn't manufacture urgency to move you. He doesn't need you afraid. He doesn't need a countdown clock or a platform with 1 million subscribers to get your attention. And if your spiritual life needs those things to function, that's actually worth looking at instead of just moving past. Conviction moves you toward God. Anxiety moves you in circles. So I'll leave you with the question instead of answering it for you. After everything you've consumed in the name of discernment, every warning, every update, every expose, what are you actually holding on to? Not what are you suspicious of? Not who are you watching What are you holding? And when you're honest about that answer, does it feel like grace or does it feel like debt?